Hello everyone and welcome back to Through the Dragon Glass. We are on Chapter 10 of The Secrets of the Federal Reserve by Eustace Mullins. It is a two-part series. Before we get started, I want everyone to hit that thumbs up notification bell, leave a comment, which is very important, it helps with the algorithm, and yet again tell a friend about me, which is also quite important. After we finish The Secrets of the Federal Reserve, I'm going to put up I already did the Declaration of Independence, and I also already did the Pledge of Allegiance. I'm going to do the Bill of Rights and our Constitution. And then I'll move on to a different Eustace Mullins book, or I'll figure something out. If you want me to do stuff about Disney, let me know. It's either Disney or Russia. All right, let's get started. Paul Warburg described the Federal Reserve as a fountain of credit, not capital. It was clear the Federal Reserve was not created to add or form capital, but to create credit.
Hi, are you headed into First National Bank?
Yeah?
Because I can literally save you tens of seconds by handling all your important banking matters right here at this folding table.
Federal Reserve notes are nothing more than pieces of paper loaned out with interest. Senator Owens, who I have quoted several times, said the Federal Reserve Board is the most gigantic financial power in all the world. Instead of using this great power as the Federal Reserve Act intended that it should, the board delegates this power to the banks through the weight of the influence towards the support of the policy of German inflation. Paul Warburg resigned from the Federal Reserve Board after the U.S. switched from a bond security currency to a currency backed by paper and the shares of the Federal Reserve. He still controlled the Federal Reserve through the Federal Advisory Council and the Committee of American Acceptance Council.
All right, let's get rich. What am I doing? Huh? I'm pacing, right? Stockbrokers never stand still. They're like sharks on cocaine.
After the agricultural depression, Paul Warburg created the biggest trust, the International Acceptance Bank in the United States, ACFA Ansco Corporation in Belgium, IG Farben Corporation, IG Chemical Corporation in the United States, and Westinghouse Corporation. In the early 20s, the Federal Reserve helped Russia expand, giving Russia the ability to participate in the world's financial structure.
Boris and Natasha.
Ta-da! Then we steal mattress, Boris.
No time like the president, Natasha.
The Federal Reserve started purchasing Russian gold, and Russian currency became accepted on the exchange. Powerful trusts were organized in Russia with the help from the Rothschilds and the United States. The international financiers provided funds to Lenin and Trotsky to keep Russia in World War I, while journalists proclaimed communism is the ideal economy. The leader of the White Russian armies, Admiral Kolchak, who was supported by international bankers.
Into the limo, you son of a bitch. No argument. Hey, careful, man. There's a beverage here, huh?
Kolchak accumulated large amounts of gold that he seized with his armies. The Federal Reserve turned a blind eye, and they promised the Federal Reserve would only do business in quote-unquote friendly nations. In 1921, Congress started to investigate the international gold dealings of the Federal Reserve. The investigation of the Federal Reserve revealed that in 1906, the United States Treasury was giving New York banks cash to purchase gold. The United States Treasury would then purchase the gold that the New York bankers acquired, which gave the United States Treasury deniability to where the gold came from.
Plausible deniability is the ability for persons, typically senior officials in a formal or informal chain of command, to deny knowledge of or responsibility for any damnable actions committed by others.
The New York bankers were buying gold internationally, giving the League of Nations the ability to force Europe and South America to use the gold standard. Having bought a large amount of gold from England, the United States was in a position to become the gold standard. Keeping the gold standard in England would only benefit small international groups that control the world's gold. After World War I, the United States went from being one of the biggest debtors to the greatest creditor. The war was also responsible for moving the world's acceptance market from England to New York. International finances stayed the same, and the gold standard was still used for foreign exchange.
Big news, fellas. I pulled all of your cash into this perfect investment. It's an electronics company, and they sell computer thingies. Score!
In Western society, a small group of men own the majority of gold in the monetary system. In May of 1925, Great Britain passed the Gold Standard Act, which put England back on the gold standard. This was accomplished by buying large amount of gold or credit for $200 million. George Say stated before Congress, the purpose of this loan was to help England get back on the gold standard, and the loan was to be met by investments of Federal Reserve funds and bills of exchange or foreign securities. It became clear the Federal Reserve had no interest in helping businesses in the United States. Again, I want to thank everyone for listening. Hit that thumbs up, notification bell, subscribe button, and leave a comment. It is very important. And tell a friend about me. Thanks, guys.